For our podcast disclaimer, please visit the episode description. Thanks for coming back to What the Heck is Happening in HR. Today we're going to talk about ULPs and protected concerted activities. So, unfair labor practices, and these are 5 categories of them prohibited under the National Labor Relations Act. So, interference, restraint, or coercion. You can't interfere with employees exercising their rights to organize. So, if you threaten and if you interrogate, if you lie, make any of those statements, you could end up with an unfair labor practice. So, what is an unfair labor practice? It means that you've done something you shouldn't, and the union or employees can go down and file with the National Labor Relations Board, and it gives them the opportunity to have it investigated. Category 2, employer domination or support of a labor organization. You can't dominate or interfere with the formation of a labor organization. So you're not going to interfere, and that's why you're going to train your managers on FOE and on tips. Number 3, you can't discriminate on the basis of labor activity. So you can't say, I'm not going to hire you because I think you're going to come in here to try to organize. You can't discriminate in retaliation for going to the National Labor Relations Board. So maybe you did something you shouldn't and you did get a ULP, and though you don't think you did anything wrong, the fact is that you're now retaliating, or it's perceived retaliation against the employee who went to the National Labor Relations Board. And then if you do have a need to bargain, refusing to bargain is certainly an unfair labor practice. So unfair labor practices bring an investigation by the National Labor Relations Board. And that can actually be pretty time-consuming for one, but it's to keep you in check. It's to make sure that what you're doing is what you say you're going to be doing. If you're saying, I didn't coerce them or I didn't threaten them if an organization came in, well, maybe you did, but you didn't realize that's what you did. So let's talk about protected concerted activity, because especially for my non-union employers out there, you might go, well, Kelly, we're not union, and we don't have to worry about this stuff. Yeah, you do. It's called concerted activity, and it can be protected. And it's when 2 or more employees take action for their mutual aid or protection regarding terms and conditions of employment. So what's a term or condition of employment? Days of the week, hours of the job, FLSA status, are they exempt or non-exempt, their pay, job description, duties, how disputes get resolved, benefits they get, such like extra vacation or profit sharing, health insurance, level of life insurance, dress code. Those are all the responsibilities maybe that aren't in the job description. All of those are things that can be terms and conditions of work. So if employees are speaking about that together, then that's considered protected. And it's protected under the National Labor Relations Act. Again, I hear your boss. They're saying, don't listen to her. We don't have a union. We don't have to worry about that. Yes, you do. Every employee, whether they're represented by a union or not, have rights under the NLRA, National Labor Relations Act. And so if 2 or more employees address the employer about improving pay. So, hey, Sam and I wanted to come in and talk with you because we really think the assemblers need to be paid more. We really think the field techs should be paid more. We've been speaking, and here's a list of the employees who have signed our petition that say that we need to have another holiday. Or we don't think that these safety shoes are really up to snuff, that these are not good safety shoes. We need to have different ones. And that I'm going to speak to you on behalf of my employees who I work with, my colleagues. And so all of that, when they are speaking for more than themselves, that is considered protected concerted activity. And you want to be sure you speak with your employment attorney and you be sure you have an HR professional who can help guide you through that. Because you can't say, get out of my office. We determine pay, you don't. Instead, you go, well, let me hear. What have you learned? What is your concern? Okay, thank you for sharing that. Let me go chat with HR. Maybe we need to do a comp study and see what's happening. If people are really getting paid that much more in our own industrial park, we need to be aware of it. And I appreciate you bringing it forward. So now you've taken the activity and you're responding to it, or at least listening to it, and then you're going to talk with your HR professional and or your employment attorney as to what is next to happen about it, to do about it. But you are not going to throw them out of your office. You're not going to say, well, we determine that. It is protected concerted activity. And if you do that, you're going to end up with an unfair labor practice. So you can get ULPs when you might not want to negotiate an agreement for a union that's now with you. Or you can get a ULP, which will be investigated by the National Labor Relations Board, because you did not recognize protected concerted activity. So this is a really good podcast to share with your management team so that they have a better understanding and at least you're talking about it. And then be able to train them on tips and faux, which is in another podcast. So you have an opportunity to learn every single Monday when we drop new podcasts. Thanks so much for listening to What the Heck is Happening in HR.